Hey fellow tennis nerds, today I wanted to talk about more control-oriented spin rackets. I've talked about powerful spin rackets. I've talked about what's the difference between a power racket and a spin racket, and now I want to go into typical spin rackets with a little bit more control. What you find in the control segment these days is 98 square inch rackets, and the more spin-oriented ones are generally 16-19 pattern, pretty much all of them. The BABOLAT Pure AERO VS is 16-20 for example, but overall they're generally 16-19. So my favorite spin rackets might not be your favorite ones, but these are the ones that I tend to use the most and that I really think has good properties. Like with all rackets, you need to test them and see what works for you. It's all about a feeling. It's a very personal thing. You can't just use what your favorite pro uses, or what I use, for example, or other tennis racket reviewers or influencers. You need to find what works for your game, but hopefully my content and the work I do can help you find the right string, the right rackets, and right setup for you, so you can focus on improving your tennis. That's what we're all here for, right? If you want more content like this, you want deeper dives, you check out my patreon.com/tennisnerd. Lots of content there, chat function, everything for the true tennis nerd. Also helps tennis nerds stay alive. If you want to buy any of these rackets or anything else, please check out my affiliates. The links are in the description, such as Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, and Tennis Only. I get a small commission if you do at no extra cost to you. Okay, so without further ado, the rackets. These are my favorite spin and control rackets. Starting with the Dunlop SX300 Tour that I recently reviewed. Really like this one, ultra whippy, easy to use. You get some good top spin. Might need a little bit of weight for you more advanced players to get more stability, but overall it's ultra whippy and has all the properties of a spin/control racket. One of the more powerful ones in the bunch I'm going to talk about, but this one is one of the better ones, I think. A very nice frame. Check out my review on this channel if you are interested in this frame. The Pure AERO VS used by quite a few pros on tour. And my buddy Matthew's favorite racket, 16-20 pattern, a little bit more controlled than the Dunlop in my opinion, a little bit wider in the property here. Feels like this one is very much engineered towards this vertical movement with the AERO beam design. A stiff racket like the other one, they are a little bit stiffer, some of these. So if you have arm issues, think about the string or go for a softer frame like a Clash 98 that I'm also going to talk about. If you like TECNIFIBRE rackets, which there's a good reason to do, there are many good TECNIFIBRE rackets out there today. I really think that they've improved the rackets drastically over the last 2 years. I like the eGush Viontech 298, but there's a very similar racket to this called RS300, TECNIFIBRE RS300. They're both spin and power oriented with some more control. The eGush is a little bit more powerful than the RS300. But a very nice racket, has foam filling for decent comfort despite the high stiffness, and it's quite easy to use, this frame. I like it quite a bit. If you wonder about these things that I put here, it's a tool called the retensor from the Netherlands. It's actually supposed to help you retension the main strings, which I assume will influence the whole string bed. So I've been testing this. I'm not sure about how well it works over time, but it did actually increase the tension. So you have this small key and you pull and then you retension the string. So it's in test here in the eGush. But the eGush is a very good racket. If you wonder why this racket looks like this is the Clash 98. And it's a very good frame. I like this one, is the one I did with the Wilson Custom. Went for a Swedish style paint job, partly because I'm Swedish, but also because I thought it looked pretty cool and I haven't seen anything similar, and that I could also hybrid the strings to resemble the flag. I like the Clash 98, I always did, and it's a racket I take up and play with from time to time quite a lot recently. More comfortable than the other rackets here. A little bit of a catapult effect sometimes with the Clash. You don't have 100% control at all times in my opinion, but overall very high playability, great comfort, lots to like. Clash 98 is my favorite Clash by far. That's why I made this one. The Onyx V-Core 98 is a favorite among many players. Good power, a little bit more dampening with the Onyx rackets thanks to the VDM tech. Yeah, it's a nice stick. This is the extended version, but it plays quite similar to the standard length version. So the V-Core 98 should be mentioned. Another decent racket. Head have two rackets that I could mention here because they have so many rackets, as you know. The Boom Pro is also spin friendly, has quite kind of like a gravity style beam design, also with the morph beam that is a little bit inspired from Yonex maybe. But overall, good stick with power and spin, although I prefer the more controlled approach of the Extreme Tour, which I'm going to talk about now. And the Extreme Tour might be my favorite of all these when it comes down to actually playing matches, because I feel like this one is more almost of a prestige style frame and it gives me a little bit more control. Here it's strung with Lynx Touch, a new string from Head for comfort. So if you're interested in that string, check out my recent review of Lynx Touch. But the Extreme Tour is a very nice frame. I feel like it needs a little bit of weight, so I added like 2 grams up here and 4 or 5 grams down here to make sure I get a little bit more headlight feel and a little bit more plow through. And now it's pretty much spot on for my tennis. So the Extreme Tour is a very nice, more control oriented than the rest of the bunch, in my opinion. And last but not least, for sure, the Solinco Whiteout 98, very nice feeling. Was designed with the help of Roman Prokes, the icon. I have an interview with him on my website, tennisnerd.net, that you should check out. And this frame is very nice, a lot of string movement, because they're quite like open grommet holes here, it seems like. I don't know if there's any other reasons for this string movement, but it creates a lot of top spin, quite nice feel on impact. Overall, a very nice stick, the Solinco Whiteout 98. Review on my channel, like with all these rackets, I always put the reviews on YouTube and tennisnerd.net. That's about it for this one. These are my favorite 98 Grinch 1619, 1620 spin focused rackets. I think they will work for a lot of players. If you hit with some top spin, but you want a little bit more control than what the AERO and the regular Extreme MP and the regular more power spin rackets produce, these are definitely worth checking out. I like them a lot. Hope you like this video and find it useful. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.